before we hand over to her. And I'm going to introduce her profile by saying it's the profile of an inspirational guidance counselor. Renee Mair is an inspiring counselor who has had an impressive journey through various educational institutions and has excelled in her field. She holds a master's degree in counseling psychology and is known for her mentorship, motivational speaking, dancing, and counseling skills. Ms. Mair's dedication to education and counseling is evident through her extensive teaching experience and involvement in counseling associations. She has received recognition for her contribution to the field, including awards from the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, which includes the JAGCE Stalwart in acknowledgement of her proficient and unparalleled contribution in the establishment of the association and the first runner-up or second place Counselor of the Year award, among many others. Ms. Mair is currently serving as a JAGC Region 6 President, that's a President for St. Catherine, and JAGC Region 6 Membership and Welfare Chair. Additionally, she is actively involved in her church, where she plays multiple roles and serves as a deacon and the president of the Women's Federation, a Sunday school teacher, and the vice president of the Care Committee. She also serves as a board member of the Waterford Baptist Church Basic School. She has a passion for children, youth, and the elderly, and has been teaching for approximately, you can't guess, 25 years. No, sir. And she looked like she'd just come out of college. So, without any further ado, let me hand over to our wonderful moderator today, Renee Mair.
Just before you do, though, allow me to be able to just welcome those who have just joined us on YouTube and Facebook. We wanted to say you are in the Choose Life International webinar. Our focus today is preventing suicide in the school. It's actually Sunday, just ahead of World Suicide Prevention Day. And we are forging ahead, preparing our people to be more deliberate about helping teens who are at risk to suicide. And Faith has just introduced Renee Mair. Welcome those of you on YouTube and Facebook. Renee will be our moderator for tonight.
Thank you for the warm welcome and introduction. And thank you all for making it to Choose Life International. It is time for us to engage in this incredible and important conversation. Today's session, we will be focusing on a sensitive yet critical, urgent matter, suicide prevention in our schools. As educators, as guidance counselors, as mental health professionals, parents, or community members, we share in this collaborative responsibility to create environments where our children will feel safe, will be seen and supported. We will be joined by our panelists, Mrs. Burtine Thomas and Dr. Donovan Thomas. And in time, we will have their introduction. And today we look forward to this session as we look at suicide prevention in our schools.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm Burtine Thomas, and I have been a guidance counselor for many, many, many years, a teacher, an associate counseling psychologist, and I'm a church worker. I love to empower young people. And what is about me? I have 2 children and I'm married to a minister of religion. That's it about me, you know. The things.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Thomas. Over to you, Dr. Thomas.
Greetings to all of you. I am the claim to fame is that I'm married to the outstanding Faith Thomas. We have 2 sons and 3 grandchildren. I'm the founder and president of Choose Life International. My wife and I founded Choose Life International. I completed doctoral studies, and my dissertation topic was confronting suicidal propensity among Jamaican teenagers. Out of my work within the schools and various other organizations, I designed a one-day seminar to helping people to help those who are at risk of suicide, and we have been doing that in different parts of the world. And on Wednesday of this week, we will be doing the 17th staging of the annual World Suicide Prevention Day seminar in Kingston, Jamaica, and we hope to pivot to over 30 nations for this event, with watch parties in Cuba, USA, Uganda, Malawi, and other parts of the world. Our passion in life is to help people live physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Suicide remains one of the leading causes of death among our young people and in our schools. They are uniquely positioned to serve, and we are here to help as protective factors and source of early intervention. This discussion today is not just to identify the warning signs, but how we can foster the culture of openness, connection, and proactive care. We will ask our panelists to tell us how we will be able to identify some of the early signs, and they will also share their experiences with us as we discuss this very crucial topic today. Mrs. Thomas, you would like to go first?
All right. Thank you, Ms. Renee. All right, so we're looking at question of what are the most common warning signs of suicidal ideation among students. Over the years, as I worked as a guidance counselor, we found out that sometimes students become withdrawn. All right, they become so this nice, happy girl or boy, normally bubbly and so on, and you find that after a time they become withdrawn. That's a warning sign. It may not be suicide, but it could be something that we need to look at. So as parents, teachers, peers, caregivers, we need to look out for those signs. They're pulling away for the activities that they normally enjoy. That's a warning sign. Drop in academic performance. All right, and normally gets in the 90s, whatever, and you find that they're getting in the 20s and so on. That's something for us to query. Expressions of hopelessness. Miss, I don't want to live any longer. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm feeling very sad. Giving away your things. You're not placing value on your life, not placing value on valuables. That's another sign, warning sign that parents, and many times parents may, overlook these things. It's something to really look into. Changes in behavior and sleep or eating habits, and increased talking about death or suicide. Also, you find some of them will be using sharp instruments to cut their wrist. Yes, it's a one. So, Miss, I'm just doing a pattern and I'm just doing that, it is a sign of suicidal ideation. Yes. So these are some signs we need to look out for, possible signs that we need to look out for in our students as they could be victims of suicide ideation.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Thomas. Over to you, Dr. Thomas.
I'm going to try and just share a screen quickly to be able to just present a chart from the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention that actually talks about some warning signs there on the screen. And some of them may be repeating some of what our sister Burtine has said there. But negative view of self, any expression that says, I am no good, I am not capable, I am the worst thing that ever happen, and the worst in the class. Those could be some risk factors. Making suicide threats. And suicide threats can be overt. If I ever fail my exam, I'm going to kill myself. Or it could be very covert. Goodbye. I had a teenager who came to me some time ago and she just waved goodbye. And I became curious. Where are you going? You going back to the States? She said, no. Eastern Caribbean, no. Where are you going? Big broad smile indicated that her birthday was coming up, and when I got to talking with her in details, she had a birthday plan. She had planned to kill herself, and the threat was simple and innocent goodbye. Then substance abuse is another warning signs. We intervened recently at a church where somebody died by suicide, and one of the things that happened is that there is a decline in self-care, and it is not uncommon for for our students to be involved in substance abuse as part of the hopelessness. And usually when they get engaged in the substance abuse, their own resilience decreases, and that could lead to suicide. Warning signs include giving away stuff. 14-year-old killed himself from one of our high schools in Jamaica. A few weeks before he died, he actually took his Xbox from his parents' house and took it to his friend's house, giving away stuff that are valuable, and they usually give it to people that they know will take care of it. Making funeral arrangements for themselves. This is what I want at my funeral. Engaging in risky behaviors with our students. Risky behavior, sometimes risky, even involving sexual engagement. Harmful, Mrs. Thomas talked about that. Harming self-harm, cutting behavior, frequent talking about death, drastic changes in mood and behavior. The person is no longer the happy person that we usually see, burdened. Or sometimes the child talks about feeling like a burden. We have just been through the time when reports have come out, exam results have come out, and some of them may be going back to school having failed, and now they're feeling like they are a burden to their students, to their teachers, to their families. They don't feel valued and appreciated anymore. And then sometimes we see aggressiveness and irritability that is unusual. Then isolation and feeling alone. Sometimes deliberately want to be away, or sometimes even when they're with the masses, they're feeling alone, and a sense of hopelessness or no hope for the future. These are some warning signs, Renee, that as we embark on a new school year, that we need to be very aware of.
Wow, there are so many, and it is good that we can have discussions like these to help all stakeholders to know what to look for, especially when we have these signs that we can identify students and the children in need of our help. The second thing I'd like to ask is, why do you think the suicidal rates among our school-aged children and teenagers are on the rise? What is happening? Why is this a trend today?
Well, I just saw somebody type in the chat about not addressing the first question, lack of poor hygiene. You know, sometimes as parents, we have to be so careful because the child could be depressed. And so they don't, not bathing, not keeping themselves up to standard. And then the parents now start quarreling with the child. Yes, and telling the child you're nasty, you're rough, whatever. And, you know, that can also add to. All right, leads me to this now. Why do we think suicide rates among school age teens are rising? That's one of them. Increase in academic, sorry, increase in academic and social pressure. So many times we want our students, our children to do well. Some teachers pressure their students to do well because they need to look good. And so I remember my daughter when she was doing GSAT, right? She, at one point, she was just crying, every evening crying because she was being pressured by the teacher. The class has to look good. Everybody has to pass because the teacher has to look good. And so I decided that, no, man, this is too much for my daughter. And so one morning I went to the school and I spoke with the teacher along the line of, she's under pressure. I think it's too much work, it's too much. And the teacher understood. However, she wasn't looking at that. The child is, is being affected. And so sometimes as parents and teachers, we can put academic pressure on our children because we want to look good, we want them to pass, we want them to go to the school that we want them to go. And so or we want them to achieve certain goals in life that can really put our children, that cause the suicidal rate to be rising in our children. Social pressure, social media, their friends, what they post. How do I look? Am I too fat? Am I too skinny? Am I too this? Am I too that? All right? Or you're not good enough to be in this group. That can affect our children. Social media and cyberbullying. One young man killed himself, completed suicide because he was being bullied. They called him some fish name, and so he completed suicide. All right? He was being bullied by his friends at school and sometimes a person that you don't even know. Family issues and trauma. We have to tap in at times, table talk, family talk, and ask our students or children, what's happening in your world? What's happening in your world? And give them that time to talk. Whether it's a girlfriend, boyfriend issue, or some rape, some abuse, something. What is happening in your world? And children don't normally talk about abuse readily. You know, you have to pull it out of them. And so you find that a child may be experiencing abuse and they decide that, listen, man, I am going to kill myself.
Wow,
right? Because
there's
we need
so
to create
many,
an avenue for them to talk, right?
there are so
Sometimes,
many influences.
right, sometimes parental problems, they take it up. They take up the problems for the parents. And so I always say to parents, you will have your conflict, but whenever you make up, but the child will realize that there's a conflicting issue here. Whenever there's a make up, let the child know, let the children know that, hey, we are good again. Because they carry that problem, they carry that, right? Mental health stigma and lack of access to support.
Yes.
As I said again, family support is important. Being involved in school is important. Time with counselor is important. All those are important. Will help to decrease the rise in suicidal. And of course, COVID. Some people are still carrying the burns of the trauma of COVID.
Negative.
Right? So a number of persons, not only students, but adults became suicidal too.
Yes.
Because they were locked in lockdown, can't go anywhere and so on. And so it impacts our mental health. Dr. Thomas. Sorry.
So based on what you're saying, Sis Thomas, I get that some of the times, even at school, they are pressured into doing well, that they might feel like a failure when they are not doing well, and this might impact them in a negative way, and they might be led to wanting to make an attempt. Thank you for that, Mrs. Thomas. What about you, Dr. Thomas? What are some of the causes?
Renee, I am grateful for the support we are getting from the participants. They are giving us some promptings in the chat there. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Kerisha. Thank you, Bovary, for just saying things like, and Denton, expectations, unmet expectations are a trigger.
Yes.
And then social media, lifestyle issues, abandonment, bullying from peers, failure to meet self-expectation and expectation of others, teenage sibling comparison. And Bovria said, AI now becoming a contributing factor. Become companion with your child and then break off, etc. And we have seen recently in the media where the instructions were given by AI, as is reported in a case before the court right now, where it is alleged that AI give the instructions for this person to complete suicide. Even when the person says, I should really go and talk to my parents about this, the AI discouraged that, as it is reported in the media. And I want to say to us, the poor relationship with our parents is a risk factor to suicide. What the research actually shows is that where there is strong relationship between parents and child, there is more resilience against suicide, even beyond childhood years. So when this daughter or son is into our 20s and 30s, where they have strong relationship with parents, that is a protective factor. And I want to just reinforce again the lack of relationship between the youth and the adult community. Many of our churches, in many of our churches, our youth faces are missing. And we want to be able to just realize that when we have the strong bond between teenagers and the aunties and the uncles in the churches and the communities, that is a protective factor. And the thing about the stigma that we put, the labels that we place on students make it difficult for them to be able to say, you really, I am not feeling so well, I'm not up to it. And we want to say that as adults, we need to be careful how we talk to our children. One young man reported that he became suicidal when he was attempting playing around with a mask in his class, and the teacher said to him, take off the mask. You do not need a mask to be ugly. That's crude. We don't know the baggage. We don't know what our children come with. So we want to be very deliberate about how we speak to them, and that we are affirming, we are caring, we are loving all the time. Lots of things contributing to the high rate of suicide. I want to stress the importance of positive relationship with adults and teens, and peer relationship, good community connect, and good grounding in a church where there is high religious engagement. That serves as a protective factor against suicide.
Wow, there are so many. The increase in the academic and social pressure, the social media, cyberbullying, family issues, trauma, mental health stigma contributes a lot to what is going on with our children. The lack of parental support, the lack of access to knowing where to go to get support. And as we were reminded earlier, what took place with COVID, the post-COVID-19 impact upon our mental health. And as we continue this discussion, we know that the school plays a role in how we respond to students when they are faced with different situations and how we give support to them. So the question I would like to ask now is, what should we do in our schools to be more proactive to get involved in preventing suicide among our students? What can the school do?
Okay, train teachers and staff to recognize and respond to the warning signs. Now, it is said that the coach is a very important person in the school, the coach. Because students, the athletes, they tend to get to the coach and they'll share information. And so the coach needs to know how they train it. The auxiliary staff, the watchman, the gatekeeper, the security, all those persons along with the teachers need to be trained and to look out for. So the guide department can have sessions. You know, those training sessions are ask someone to assist with training, the Ministry of Health, so that to become aware as what do I look for when I see this person acting a certain way? What, you know, is it that he's suicidal or she's suicidal or she's just playing around? So person need to be aware of and know how to respond to the warning signs. So you have in some you have the we call the first response team, right? So anything happen, you can say that this I need to talk to the student, because I recognize that something not right with him or her. I realize it's time to go home. I don't want to go home. Something is happening. Or implement its mental health curriculum. Of course, this falls under the guidance department in school, such an important department, and again can liaise with connect with other entities. All right, with other the child guidance department is one such that we can ask for, for help from the community to assist with provide an online counseling peer support group program. So the peer counseling group in the school is very, very important. The peer counselors, because we are going to empower the peer counselors, because to how to deal with peers in terms of what do you look for, how to empower them. So if like a student will not tell a teacher what is happening, or do not even recognize what happened, the peer counselor, the peer counselors are there, but they're trained to pick up what is happening, right? The person may not be smelling good, maybe crying, maybe skipping classes. Sometimes they go and hide up in the bathroom, not because they don't necessarily want to be in the class, it's just that they're depressed, they just can't deal with what, and so go in the bathroom and sit down. So train our counseling for a safe and inclusive school environment. All right, so I don't judge. I'm able to go into this space and I'm talk again. The guidance counselor is such an important person. School. You'll all find it's not only the guidance, but the guidance committee. So the counselor maybe, but at least I can talk to the other person who I can share, can offload, and so on. Regular mental health checks and screenings. Yes.
Yes, you are so correct. So, Dr. Thomas, what are some of the ways that our schools can be more proactively involved in the prevention of suicide among our students?
One of the passions of Choose Life International is to be able to determine what are some of the issues that are facing our youth before the crisis arises. And I am happy to report that there are some schools that have accepted our offering of conducting the emotional screening of their students. So right now, between July and the end of September, we would probably have done about 1,000 screening of about 1,000 students. And one of the things that we do is that we offer to our school community the services where we have an interview and we engage the students in completing a questionnaire. And out of that questionnaire, we are able to do the analysis to help to determine where are they at, what's happening in terms of their risk to suicide, or what's their level of hopefulness, what are they depressed, and there are like 10 issues that we bring to the fore. And what we actually do too, we offer the schools a one-page report on each student. So even before the teacher and the guidance counselor meet that particular student, there's a one-page report that says what is the emotional state of that student. And we have seen where that has really helped to be able to just bring what is the potential, what is the crisis to the fore before it is acted out. So our passion is to be able to determine where the ball is going to be before the ball gets there. And that's what we are after. Children of Issachar who understood the times and know what we ought to do. And I want to encourage more of our schools to do that. Be very deliberate, be very proactive, encourage our parents to buy into that kind of stuff. All right. And then we want to be able to ensure that we are providing the undergirding and the support to our students as we move along. I believe the time has come for us to major on what are the protective factors, what are the things that protect students against suicide, and be able to help them to be able to process that. And I want to just quickly throw up another screen or two to be able to just say, let's promote protective factors. We talk about parental connectedness already. Then there is school safety. Let's be safe within our school, connections to non-parental adults, academic achievement, then the neighborhood safety, awareness of and access to local health services. And all of us need to know in the Jamaican context, 888-639-5433. It actually, you can go on your phone and it's easier for you to remember. New 888 New Life. Yes, Choose Life International helped to come up with the name of this, and in partnership with the Ministry of Health, this was established. Ministry of Health runs it now. We need to know where we can find help. It's a 24-hour helpline, and there's help available. Call the number. Closeness to caring friends, and we need to teach resilience in our schools, in our homes. Teach our children to be resilient. How to be able to bounce back in the face of difficulties, not just punish, but teach life-changing principles to be able to help them survive. Just for want of just broadening the base of protective factors, I'm saying overall resilience, cultural and religious beliefs that discourage suicide must be taught. There must be strong interpersonal relationship, and we want to build safe environments as possible, even in our schools. We also need to be careful of how we report suicide in our schools. Let us not romanticize it. Let us be careful how we talk about those who have died by suicide, because we want to ensure that the copycat phenomena does not happen in the context of school. And we say to our parents, be willing to face the truth about what's happening with the children. I have seen so many parents whose mouths drop open when we tell them about what we uncover from the conversation with their children. Let us be proactive and save another life.
So based on what Mrs. Thomas and Dr. Thomas are saying to us today,